I'm just going to explain how we can add comments to our code in Java. There are two real ways of doing this, and the purposes of comments are for the utility of the person reading, which may well have been the person who's written the code, but it might not be. But it basically allows us to provide explanation as to what the code does. Now, comments can easily be overused, and they can also easily be underused. The way to think about comments, once you've got a bit more experience, is if I was to come back to this code in 6 months, would I understand what it does as it currently stands? If the answer to that is no, or you're not sure, then it probably needs a comment to explain how it works. So there's two types of comment in Java. The first is a single line comment, and a single line comment starts with 2 forward slashes and then is followed by whatever text that we want. So if I'm going to use this comment here to explain what this first line does, I'm going to say this line declares the main method. There we go. That's a comment. Sometimes we might want some longer comments to explain what else is going on, and we can do that by using a multi-line comment. To do that, we start with a forward slash and an asterisk. When we press enter, it will actually put in an asterisk and a forward slash, and that's how we mark the end of it. We could type it manually, so I can do this, and I can knock that down a few lines. And it's even putting a little star in to help make it easy for me to see. Or if I've just written it and hit enter, it will automatically put the closing one in for me, and this can run over multiple lines. Okay, so the system .out .println method is used to send text or other variables to the output, typically the console. Okay, now that's got quite long, so I can drop it onto multiple lines and it's perfectly fine. If we try to add another comment here, here is the rest of the comment. Because this is not a multiple line comment, it thinks it's programming code and it doesn't understand it. So we could, of course, put in 2 more forward slashes at the start of the line. I can get the cursor to go to the start of the line, and that's fine. Or we can make it a multi-line comment. In terms of using comments, they're also often used for part of testing how our code works, to save ourselves having to delete and retype things. Okay, so I'm going to add a second system.out.println statement. I'm going to say hello Andrew. Now if I want to run it and I think, well, I've got a problem with my code somewhere, and I don't want a bit of code to run, we can actually just make it a comment and it will be ignored. So we can do 2 forward slashes in front of that, and now it will only run the code that prints out hello Andrew. Okay, you can also select multiple lines, and IntelliJ will allow you to comment out all of those lines in one go. On a Mac, it's by doing Command and forward slash, and I believe on Windows it's Control and forward slash. And when you do that, it will put single line comments in front of all the lines that you're commenting out. Okay, and you can do the equivalent, i.e. undo it, with the same keyboard shortcut. So that's Command or Control and forward slash. This is actually quite useful if you're trying to find where a bug is in your code. And the other reason it's better than using the multi-line comments is because if you have one multi-line comment inside another, the first end of the multi-line comment will end all of the comments that are started. So for example, if I was to put here another, or an outer comment starts here, and if I was to try and close that off down here, okay, it's not going to work because this one closes off the comment, and that's kind of ignored. So it actually makes a lot more sense to if you're trying to temporarily turn a code into a comment, we might call that commenting out code. The best option is to do it a single line. So select everything you want and Command or Control and the / key, and the same to undo it. And that's a brief introduction to comments.